Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As I stated on a few occasions, I think that the ping pong game between Zelensky and Trump, I don't think it was genuine. As expected, the United States of America got what it wanted from Ukraine, and that is Zelensky will sign the agreement to give Ukraine's resources to another country. So you can call Zelensky a patriot, a hero, a traitor, a criminal, a liar, a clown, whatever you want to call him. We're going to allow history to determine in time what he is. Some people can call him a hero because he does everything to save the Ukrainian nation from something that it shouldn't have been gotten into in the first place, a war with Russia. So I have here 5 articles, 4 talking about Zelensky coming to Washington, D.C. on the 28th of this month to sign the deal with the Americans, neocolonialism. And the last article is from a shady, I would say, media outlet called Greek City Times, which claims breaking: a peace deal has been reached between Russia and Ukraine. I repeat, a peace deal has been reached between Russia and Ukraine. And this is dated on 26th of February 2025. Today is the 25th, so in Greece is 26. So let's start with the first article where we find out how Zelensky, as I said before, agreed eventually to provide the Americans with its natural resources. All right, so here it is. First article. Breaking: the Kiev Independent. Kiev, Washington reach agreement on minerals deal. Let's see how much Ukraine will lose and how much it will win. There you go. Clearly. Ukraine has reached an agreement with the United States on minerals deals. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Minister told on Financial Times on February 25. President Volodymyr Zelensky's office confirmed to the Kiev Independent that an agreement has been reached. It was normal. The negotiations, it was no negotiations. The Americans told them what they want, and Zelensky delivered. Around the deal have fueled tensions. No, I think there was fake tension. That's my gut feeling. As a free human being, I think I'm entitled to have gut feelings. All right, according to Financial Times report, Ukraine has secured more favorable terms and framed the deal as a way to strengthen ties with the US. Ukraine got something, which is a de facto occupation and a defleecing or fleecing of its country. Zelensky is expected to head to Washington for a signing ceremony in the coming weeks. It's going to be the 28th. So this is what the final version of the agreement, dated February 24th, establishes a fund to which Ukraine will contribute 50% of proceeds from the future monetization of state-owned mineral resources, including oil, gas, and related logistics. The fund will invest in projects within Ukraine. The deal excludes resources that already contribute to Ukraine's state budget, meaning it will not cover operations by Naftogaz and Ukravka, the country's largest oil and gas producers. The agreement does not include security guarantees from the United States, which Kiev has initially insisted on. I'm taking your resources, I'm going to get your resources, and you have no security guarantees. All right, next one. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine-US mineral resources agreed may be signed on 28th of February. Ukraine may approve of mineral resources. It already did it. Meanwhile, the Associated Agency France Press sources claim that the agreement could be signed by the end of the week. Right? Government officials are currently working on the details. We are considering a visit to Washington on Friday, 28th of February, for the signing, the source said. Next. Zelensky to visit Washington for meeting with Trump on February 28th. And again, there is no, right here, nothing else, but this is interesting. This is what the Russians say. Kiev agrees to Trump's minerals deals. Media. It reportedly gives the U.S. half the future proceeds from the industry, but says nothing of security guarantees. All right, so what happened? It's that Trump had been demanding the equivalent of $500 billion worth of natural resources as compensation for aid provided to Kiev throughout the conflict of Russia. So, Ukrainians agreed to sign the deal after the US dropped demands for a right to 500 billion in proceeds from the resources. Kiev had been disputing this figure, insisting that Washington actually provide Ukraine with only 100 billion aid. It's okay, we get 5-1. Right? According to Financial Times, this monetization will not cover resources already generating revenue. We already talked about it, and it says here that the terms of joint ownership deals are to be determined in future agreements. So we're going to get even the ownership, we Americans, right? The agreement stipulates that Washington intends to make a quote-unquote financial commitment to assist Ukraine, but the extent to this assistance will be determined at a later date. Kiev officials told Financial Times that the nation's justice, economy, and foreign ministers approved the deal. There you go. And we have this one, which is very important. I don't know if this is true. I'm going to use it. I'm not saying it's true. Greek City Times, 26th of February 2025. Breaking. A peace deal has been reached between Russia and Ukraine. Down here, I don't find anything. I'll read it for you. The United States has brokered a significant step towards a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is set to travel to U.S. on Friday to finalize the agreement with President Trump. U.S. compensation. The U.S. will receive half of the What is to expect in the peace agreement? What is to expect in the peace agreement? This is what they say. NATO membership off the table. Ukraine will not join NATO, addressing a crucial demand from Russia and a primary factor that contributed to outbreak of the war. No foreign troops in Ukraine. Instead of NATO forces or US and European troops, a demilitarized zone will be established as Zelenskyy's request for external military involvement was declined. Territorial concessions. Ukraine will cede territory, including abandoning ambitions to reclaim Crimea. Regaining all lost lands was considered as unlikely as achieving NATO membership. Undisclosed Russian concessions. Details of any concessions from Russia have not yet been revealed, while further claims of Russian influence are anticipated. Ukraine's prospects against Russia were always limited. Though the situation remains fluid, these points outline the likely direction of forthcoming peace deal. So it's not a peace deal, it's just what these guys think is going to be. And that's it. That's it. So according to these guys, a peace deal was agreed already, but they don't tell you about what happened, the likely scenario. The Americans will get the whatever is left of the Ukrainian resources. The Ukrainians will work hard for us, like they do. They will use the dollar to buy whatever they need to buy. We're going to print dollar for them. They will work for us like the rest of some countries that are like little, mice or hamsters. And we will give them paper for that, or they will thank us for investing. That means putting them to work. Okay, there was not going to be any military assistance as far as I can tell, and we'll see how the Americans are going to discuss with Russia further. I suspect that Russia will get all Donbass, Russia will keep Crimea, Russia will have an influence in Ukraine big time. The Americans will get their neocolonialism by sucking the Ukrainian resources dry. To get money, the aid, like the present. I give you aid. There's not an aid then, means there's not an aid. An aid is, a help. That's my translation of an aid. Help. I give you help. No, you pay for it. There's no more help. Like a bank. A bank helps you. Never. If a bank would help you, the money it lends to you would be, interest-free. And not only. But hey, this is it, my friends. A peace deal was achieved. Do you think so? I don't think so. And the Russians and Americans are orchestrating all this. Remember, Europe wants to fight. So it's again, I think, a ping-pong game. Europe wants to fight. I've saw so many articles with all kind of statements of politicians in Europe. Well, let's go to fight. We're going to Starmer, Macron, and the Finns, the little countries. They all want to fight together. Not one on one. No. Together. As long as the United States is around, Europe will not challenge Russia in any freaking way. If United States of America tomorrow disappears, the Europeans will come to their senses and start being civilized in their dealing with countries around the world. Until then, they will have this guy behind them and they will act like thugs. But they're not thugs because they can't. They can only under the shadow of the big thug, Al Capone. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.